Hey, 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 hey. What's good, everybody? Hey, hey, hey. Thank you for being tuned in to another episode of Speak Pink. Hey, 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 hey. Come on and pop those fingers. Hey, hey, hey. It's a beautiful day, y'all. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to another episode of Speak Pink. Come on up in here. Come on up in here. Come on up in here. Hey, hey, hey. What's good, everyone? And welcome to another episode of Speak Pink with your girl, Reverend Najuma. I am super excited for this Wednesday's episode to share with you all about the Valentine's holiday that's coming up. Listen, this week and next week, our episodes are going to be a little bit on relationships. Now, I'm not a relationship guru. I don't necessarily market or brand myself as someone who does relationship coaching or counseling, but I do have some wonderful insight, some really important insight that I want to share with you. I'd love to share with you. And that is during this Valentine's season where things are reminding us of love, reminding us of relationships, reminding us of the people who have been in our lives before in the past. Sometimes what can happen is we can start thinking about who was with us, who we used to date, who used to be around. And, you know, it's human to miss people. It's human to want to be in someone's presence. But I want to talk specifically to everyone that's listening about not going back to certain relationships. See, there are some relationships that ended and they needed to end. And even though you might miss them or miss something about them, going back, looking back, reaching back should not be your option. Should not be the choice you make in this season of your life. And of course, you know, it's Valentine's season and nobody wants to be alone, or a lot of people don't. Let me say it that way. A lot of us want to date and be out with someone and have someone, you know, do something nice for us, or even just consider, you know, a phone call or a message that says, hey, love, or hey, boo, or hey, bae. You know, we all want that, male and female. But I want to encourage you that toxic relationship, the one that kept hurting your feelings, the one that was not good for you in the end, the one that broke you. I mean, really broke you. The relationship that ended with you holding the bag. And I don't mean the money bag. I mean the trash bag, the garbage bag, the messy bag, the broke bag. That relationship that ended, that almost took you out of here. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically. And here's what I shared on a post earlier today is that some doors that are behind us, God padlocked them. That God locked them safe and tight so that you can't go back. Because going back would be detrimental to your health. Not just your physical health, but mental, emotional, psychological, spiritual health. And so as we are in this very fun and what can be a fun and exciting Valentine's season, getting ready. All the stores have all the Valentine's stuff out and people are trying to make plans for next week. And there are concerts and brunches and lunches and special deals at certain places. I found out last year that Disneyland does a whole sweetheart time for couples. So there's all kinds of stuff happening. I know we're in Southern California. Maybe you're someplace else. And so there may be very specific activities and you should enjoy. You should indulge and enjoy yourself. But don't do it at the risk of getting hurt even further. Don't say, I don't want to be alone so bad that you're willing to go back. And thanks be to God that there are some relationships God put a padlock on. So even if you tried to go back, you couldn't. And maybe you're frustrated about that. But listen, I've learned that when God does securely lock me out of some places, when God does it, it's for my health. It's for my good. It's for my future. It's for it's for something coming that I cannot see. And so here's some things to think about as it relates to not going back. And sometimes it's not a full go back, right? It's just I'm checking in to see where you're at, go back. I just want to see what's up with you, kind of go back, right? And a lot of women I know have this experience with men who circle around and we just want to know, they just want to know what's up. How you doing? What you doing? What you up to? And they actually have no intention of taking that conversation or that inquiry any further. What it does though, however, it opens up a relational wound. It opens up relational space. And then a lot of women are left hurting behind that. But it also happens for our brothers too. So I'm not saying this as if this is just a girl thing. This is a girl and guy thing. This is a man and woman thing. This issue, this tendency we have to long for who was and to try to go back. To long for who was and try to get back what we had. Long for who was and try to jumpstart things where we left off at. Nope. The healthiest thing that we can do is to process where we are and find a pathway to go forward. Process where we are and find a pathway of going forward. So let's start with process where you are. Like, be honest with yourself where you are. This is a level of self-awareness. Be honest about where you are. Be honest about why you really are calling them or want to call them. What is it that you really hope to attain or get out of reaching back to them? Is it that you really want the relationship because you saw value in it? Or is it that you just don't want them to be with somebody else? Is it that you really, really feel like God has ordained and called this relationship to work out? Or is it that you just can't handle losing to maybe somebody else or losing, period? I want to challenge you to process where you are and answer the question, why going back is even an option? Why is going back even a consideration? And why do you feel that that's something you should do? And really process where you are. Process your heart. Process your thinking. Examine your heart. Examine your thinking. Examine your motives. Examine your intention. Examine what you desire as an outcome. And then really ask yourself, do I still want to go back? Do I still want to call them? Do I still want them to call me? Do I still want to go out? Process that. The second thing I want to offer to you in this episode about going back is, once you've processed where you are, then ask yourself, what's the pathway forward? Maybe the pathway forward is spending time alone. And I don't mean like in isolation, but spending time kind of purging your heart and your mind of what was and who was. Maybe the pathway forward is starting a project or finishing a project that got put to the side because you were in a previous relationship. Maybe the pathway forward is engaging a healthy community of friends who you can talk things through, who you can get positive information from. Maybe the pathway forward is to do some healing exercises. You all know I often talk about meditation as being a source of healing that I put into really great practice. And if you want to ever do a healing meditation or a guided meditation with me, certainly send me a message after listening to this and get in touch with me, and we can do that. I'm on all social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and my handle is RevJuju, RevJuju. But I digress. But back to finding a pathway forward. Maybe that pathway forward is going back to church and really getting deeply rooted with your spirituality. And maybe it's not church, whatever your worship might be. Maybe it's the mosque, maybe it's the temple, maybe it's a prayer house, maybe it's a prayer meeting. Maybe it's private devotion time with some kind of text, right? So find a pathway forward. Like, once you've processed where you are, then look for and really engage a process that will allow you to move forward in a healthy manner, in a way that builds you while you're going forward, in a way that encourages while you're going forward. I never tell people anymore, just move on. I've learned over the years that just move on is way too difficult. People have to begin to move forward. Forward just means I'm taking a step. Moving on means I drop it right there and I just go on. And most people cannot go cold turkey and move on. But we can begin to think forward, live forward, behave forward, and eventually put some good space, really get away from the things that wasn't working, from the relationship that hurt you, from the business deal that broke you, from the friendship that betrayed you, whatever the case may be, right? And so again, I just want to encourage you as we're in this time of Valentine's, thinking about love, remembering love. Maybe some of you are excited to share new love with somebody that you're in a new relationship with. But whatever the case, for those of you I'm talking to who are thinking about an old love, processing, thinking about whether or not you're going to call that old love, thinking about doing a drive-by the old love's house, thinking about writing a letter, sending an email, tagging, texting, with all the ways that we try to reconnect with people. I want to encourage you this day as we're in this pre-Valentine's season. We'll be back on next week with another relationship episode. I want to remind you, think about this, not going back, but really focusing on finding a pathway for you to move forward. Don't go back. Don't put yourself in that situation. And so I'm so grateful for all of you being tuned into Speak Pink with your girl, Reverend Juma. Listen, I have my 4-part Positioned to Prosper course that begins this Saturday. If you're interested, go right now to my Facebook or my Instagram page, Rev Juju, and send me a message and say, please send me the link to Position to Prosper. We're going in for 4 Saturdays straight, talking about how to position ourselves to prosper in 2020. I want you to be a part of that program. So go right now, hit me up, send me a message, and I'll send you the registration link. Again, it's Positioned to Prosper 2020. I want to see you in the virtual classroom. We're going to have a virtual classroom, and I want to see you there. Will you do that for me? Can you do that for me? Go to Instagram or Facebook. Look up Rev Juju, REVJUJU. Send me a message and I'll send you the registration link. All right? Take care, y'all. And thank you for being tuned in to another episode of Speak Pink with your girl, Reverend Juju. Hey, 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 hey. Yeah. Pop your fingers. Hey, 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 hey. Have a great day, a great morning, a great evening, wherever you are, whatever time it is. And this is your girl, Reverend Juju. And you've listened to another episode of Speak Pink. Yeah.